the animals any minute now.
Et nous avons le plaisir d'accueillir sur le tapis rouge l'équipe du film au Canada, 7e film présenté en compétition.
Richard Gere, Uma Thurman, Jacob Elordi in a film directed by Paul Schrader. It's called Oh Canada. It's in competition. So the actor and the director are working together again because they worked together on American Gigolo in 1980. Richard Gere was in Days of Heaven by Terence Malick, Rhapsody in August, and he's back in competition in the film directed by Paul Schrader. So they were, Gere and Schrader worked together in 1980, and now they're working together again in 1924. Paul Schrader has said that the main theme of the film is death. Not particularly jolly, but that's the way it is. There's Richard Gere, well known for his humanitarian work. He defends human rights, particularly Tibet. He is a practicing Buddhist. Uma Thurman, great actress from Kill Bill, Pulp Fiction, Golden Palm in '94. So Richard Gere has been in many French films. For Godard, for example, made in the USA. Working for Godard. There's a remake of The Things of Life, which is called Intersection in the United States, starring Sharon Stone. And another specialist is that Richard Gere will readily sing a song. He's passionate about music. And I don't know if you remember at the beginning of Pretty Woman, he plays the piano. He's a legendary actor. On this wonderful red carpet, there's Paul Schrader. So alongside Uma Thurman, we have Megan Mackenzie, Victoria Field, Zach Sheffer, for a film all about death. As the director says with a twinkle in his eyes, he said that not much time left, he'd better get a move on and talk about serious subjects. Oh Canada is adapted from Russell Banks's book. Russell Banks died last year. Several of his books have been adapted to the big screen. There's Dylan Flashner on your screen, standing next to Richard Gere, an actor who was in Blondie from 2022. Next to Uma Thurman, there's a chappie with a camera. There we go. Going to move up the steps to meet Thierry Frémaux. This is the 7th film competition. And what did Russell Banks say about the book, O Canada? He said that it's his version of the death of Ivan Lich, who is Tolstoy. So it's his version of the death of Tolstoy. So there we are, halfway up the steps. Half of the crew has already escaped to go into the festival hall. I wonder if we'll be able to get them back out. Thierry Frémaux is there taking the photos halfway up the steps with only half of the team, because the other half has scarpered up to the top of the steps. Richard Gere there on your screen, Uma Thurman. Paul Schrader's come back down to halfway. He was a bit ahead of himself there. So we have the fine crew from this film, the story about an interview. Jacob Elordi is not there, sadly. He's a great actor, a big actor, and he's very tall. It's a film all about a famed Canadian documentary filmmaker who is terminally ill and gives a final interview to one of his former students to tell the whole truth about his life. And it's a confession film right in front of his wife. So the documentalist is Richard Gere, his former student is Jacob Elordi, and his wife is Uma Thurman. That's the way the cast goes. So Paul Schrader, we know for Raging Bull, Taxi Driver. And Paul Schrader says that he spent a period of his life living in his car. When he was depressed, he just had his divorce. He wrote the book in wrote the screenplay in 5 days or 10 days. And says that a good film is based on a metaphor. And in Taxi Driver, the metaphor was the car, and it was symbolizing depression. But he says, "Oh, Canada" is all about death. Perhaps it's a way of him to broach death in a more peaceful way. Here the crew is ready to go into the festival hall. This is the 7th film in competition. It's called O Canada. It's directed by Paul Schrader. There they are inside the building. And we'll be back later. See you later for another red carpet, a midnight red carpet with Nicolas Cage and the film The Surfer.